Okay, so today I want to talk about how Donald Trump can get a third term. I, two, a few weeks ago, or I believe a week ago, um, Steve Bannon was in Andrew Cuomo show in News Nation. He talked about the possibility of circumventing the Constitution so Donald Trump can get a third term. The way how I believe that it is possible is if they delitigate the 2020 election, that Donald Trump was the rightful winner and um, that it was stolen from him. So if they can delitigate the 2020 election and show evidence that he actually won that election, then maybe um, it is possible that he could serve a third term. Me, I do not consider myself a Republican, so I am not all about the Constitution. So if there's loophole until how he can get a third term, so be it. But I do not think it's going to happen because he'll be old. And I mean, he said he likes to work. That's one of the clip that Brian Tyler Cohen played in one of Trump's idea of running for a third term. And I'll show 1 second.
America freed itself from tyranny and the world from oppression. Americans dream big. In a bombshell interview, and do not delude yourselves into thinking that the spineless band of clingers on in the Republican Party aren't already on board. Republican Congressman Andy Ogles has taken the cake, just having introduced an amendment to the Constitution to allow Donald Trump to run for a third term in office. The resolution he introduced would amend the 22nd Amendment, which currently limits presidents to 2 terms. And I should note, too, we've seen this coming. Just days after the 2024 election, Congressman Daniel Goldman introduced a resolution to reaffirm Congress's support for the 22nd Amendment, which again limits the president to just 2 terms. The resolution was designed to get Republicans on the record in support because it was so utterly predictable that they were going to attempt something like this. And what did Mike Johnson do? He refused to even let it go for a vote. I asked Congressman Daniel Goldman for his response to Andy Ogle's resolution. He said, quote, "By now, Donald Trump's pattern is predictable. Joke about something unconstitutional or authoritarian, normalize the joke to allow sycophantic Republicans to adopt the joke into a serious idea until it becomes MAGA orthodoxy." Representative Ogles has followed the playbook perfectly by proposing a constitutional amendment to allow Trump to serve a third term. While I'm grateful that he acknowledges that a third term would require a constitutional amendment, nothing Donald Trump says or does is funny. So let's talk about the legality of what Trump is seeking to do. First off, Ogle's amendment is nakedly unconstitutional, period. Second, there is not enough support to amend the Constitution, for which you need a 2/3 majority vote in both the House and the Senate, and then ratification by 3/4 of the states. So any legal route to do that is not happening, period. But third and most importantly, none of that means that Republicans won't still try. Remember, presidential immunity also isn't in the Constitution. And guess what? Republicans, with the help from their judges on the Supreme Court, created it out of whole cloth. Also, barring insurrectionists from running for federal office again is in the Constitution. And yet again, with the help from their judges on the court, they eliminated that provision entirely, meaning we ignore this at our own peril. We give Republicans the best.
No, but the thing is, when the insurrection happened, um, I believe back in 2021, when Nancy Pelosi um, passed the articles of impeachment, um, they needed 57, they needed like 67 votes to remove him from office, but it did not happen. And Like, I'm not really sure about the numbers of votes. Hold on one second, I'll just look it up. So they needed 67 votes, but Trump had 57, and he was not removed from office. He was not barred from running for president in 2024.
Benefit of the doubt at our own peril. And look, my job here is to balance what I believe is a legitimate threat with what is a distraction. Trump and his mouthpieces are very good at the art of distraction. And by the way, he's got good reason to distract right now. The stock market is in correction territory, 401ks are plummeting, costs are surging, the economy is set to contract, and consumer sentiment is in the toilet. Let's not pretend that poor economic conditions aren't fatal to a presidency.
Um, and then he has one of his highest approval rating. 45%. There's an NBC News poll and a CNN poll that said like 44 to 45% of Americans believe they're moving in the right track, and which is the highest number since 2004. It's like a 20, it's like a 20, it is an over 20% increase to when Biden was in office. Okay.
But the other side of that coin is that oftentimes Trump repeats these insane, dangerous, autocratic ideas expressly to be able to normalize them. His goal is to say it enough, to broadcast it in broad daylight so frequently that it loses its shock value. That is half the battle. He's starting right now, just 2 months into his second term, the work of normalizing this idea so that 3 years from now, it won't feel all that crazy, just by virtue of the fact that he has said it so damn much. So again, my job is to try and parse out what's worth talking about and what's not. I believe this is something that's worth talking about, not only because we need to steel ourselves for the fight that's coming, but also because it is a testament to just how dangerous this person is. If you are a Republican or an independent or a non-voter or a conservative Democrat, this claim by Trump that he can run for a third term is a testament to who he is, how un-American he is, and his disdain for democracy. Opposing this person doesn't make you a radical leftist. Frankly, it makes you a good American. He is showing you right now who he is. Believe him.
But I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to be done his second term, and then we will have a glass ceiling of who will be the first female president in 2028. That's what I believe is going to happen. I don't think he's going to serve a third term, but I might be wrong. There might be loopholes around it, and then he run for a third term. But if this were to happen, I believe a lot of people in the media that suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, brains are going to be broken, just like Brian Tyler Cohen. Um, that's what I gotta say.